Hey guys, today I'm going to talk about some of the basics for equine clicker training. I started clicker training my horse Tomcat when he was laid up from an injury. I was using it as a way to keep him engaged and in high spirits while he was recovering, but I ended up enjoying it so much that I often incorporate clicker training into my ridden work, ground manners, and some of my overall husbandry tasks. I've learned a lot using trial and error, but I'm going to share some of my takeaways so that hopefully you can avoid making the same mistakes that I did. To start, I want to talk about the treats that I like to use. I use low cost, low sugar, and low value rewards that my horse enjoys. What a low value reward means in this context is it's something that my horse likes, but not so much that they're going to lose their mind thinking about it. When a horse likes a treat too much, it actually ends up being distracting. So for example, my horse Moose loves peppermints, and as soon as he hears that wrapper crinkle or I start giving him a peppermint, he's thinking so hard about getting that peppermint that he's not always listening to what I'm asking him to do. However, there are certain behaviors that I find are really challenging for my horses. So for example, again, Moose used to have difficulty loading in the trailer, and so whenever he fully got onto the trailer, I would reward him with peppermints. That horse pretty much runs onto the trailer now, so using the high value reward for high stress situations can be really helpful when applied correctly. For my horses, I really like the Buckeye treats. My horses all really seem to like the carrot crunchers and the apple flavor as well. I also use alfalfa pellets from the feed store, and these little peppermint poppers. They're all pretty cheap and come in bulk, and none of them have too much sugar, so that's why I like to use all of them. Also, most of my horses seem to find all of these flavors very inoffensive and interesting enough that they're engaged, but not so appealing that they start to lose their minds. A lot of people ask me what's a good trick to start training your horse with clicker training. I always recommend picking a trick that is easy for the horse and trainer. For me, that's usually smile. Horses pick it up really quickly, and it's a great way to train your horse to understand that the clicker sound means a treat is coming. I always recommend using a stall or a fence as a barrier when you're starting to train this trick so that your horse doesn't crowd you before it learns treat manners. Some other tricks that I like to add early on are backing, targeting, and softening at the poll. I made a video on how to train these simple behaviors as well as the smile, and I'll link to those in the description. If you want to train your horses successfully using treats, you need to have boundaries with your horse on how they can interact with you when they're working for treats. One of the most common arguments you hear against using clicker training to train a horse is that a horse will get mouthy or pushy when you're using treats to train. That's only when you don't set your horse up for success by teaching them how to behave and how not to behave when working with treats. Fortunately, you can train these manners using clicker training. You can always teach the horse to back up or turn its head away so that you reward them when they are not in your space. However, the most important thing is that you must always bring the treat to the horse and never let them take it from you. Timing is really important here, especially when you're getting started, so that the horse doesn't get tempted to come into your space when they know a treat is coming and you're taking too long to bring it to them. Once you have the treats, manners, and the trick you want to train, there's also some tips and tricks that I recommend for getting started. In clicker training, timing is everything, especially in the beginning. That means you need to click at the appropriate time so that your horse knows what you want, and then you need to follow up quickly with the treat you plan to give. I find that a lot of people are really slow to click and really slow to give the treat. As soon as you see the horse start to make an attempt at the behavior you want to click right away and give them the treat right away. Being quick with the treat will help them improve their manners, and being quick with the click will teach them what exactly you're asking for. My next tip is to be patient. You need to reward any effort from your horse to learn a new behavior. You can start being more picky about what they offer as the training progresses, but in the beginning, you need to reward the try so that the horse doesn't get frustrated. The best way to teach a new trick is to break big behaviors into smaller pieces. A smile won't start as a smile, it will just be a lip wiggle. Similarly, the Spanish walk starts by just placing the foot on a pedestal. You need to give the horse small behaviors and then slowly piece them together. Even a simple trick won't always come together right away. Be patient with your horse. It can feel a little frustrating when your horse isn't figuring something out or is trying the wrong behavior. When you get frustrated, walk away from the training or go back to something you both already know well. If my horse is really confused, I try to take a video of a session and then look back on it later to understand on how I can tighten up my timing or make it really clear what I'm asking for. Don't expect big results from a tense horse. I find that a lot of horses will let go of their tension and relax once they start clicker training, but if your horse is too tense or distracted, they're going to have a hard time focusing. So that's really not the best time to introduce a new behavior. You might be able to help the horse settle in by working on behaviors that they already know, but if you want to train something new, make sure you're starting with a calm and focused horse. When I'm trick training, I don't use a physical clicker with my horses. I use a sound that I make with my mouth to mark the behavior that I want to see. For me, it's like sk. I don't want to add another item to possibly forget when I go to the barn. If you want to use a word or noise as a clicker, just make sure that it's not a noise you make frequently in other contexts. So for that reason, I don't recommend using a or a, because a lot of people use those noises while they're riding, and you want to make it very clear that whatever noise you use as a clicker means that a treat is coming. If you can't make the noise sk, or you don't like it, a lot of other people use like a tongue pop, like that's too hard for me, and that's why I chose the sk. But whatever feels comfortable to you, or if you want to use a physical clicker, that's also fine. I hope this video is helpful to you, and I hope that you're able to use it to go out and get started with clicker training. Good luck! If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching!